What you're seeing on the screen is a massive project rising in a peaceful coastal town in South America, thousands of miles away from Washington, D.C. But here's the surprising part. This megaport, known as Chancay, is keeping U.S. officials up at night. They're calling it Washington's silent nightmare. Is this just another step in global trade development, or is it a strategic move by China to tighten its grip on the United States, right in its own backyard? Welcome back to Top 10 Discoveries Official. I'm James, and today we're going to uncover why a project located thousands of kilometers from the U.S. could become a major strategic headache for the White House. As part of the Belt and Road Initiative, BRI, China is spearheading over 150 infrastructure projects across Asia, Africa, and Eastern Europe. But the Chancay Megaport in Peru stands out as something truly unique. It's the only project in South America where Chinese President Xi Jinping personally attended a groundbreaking ceremony. An extremely rare diplomatic gesture. Not because Chancay is particularly beautiful, or because Peru holds special significance, but because this location has the potential to reshape global trade routes, and China wants to be the first to lay the foundation. This very spot was once considered by the U.S. as a possible site for a second interoceanic canal to relieve pressure on the Panama Canal. In the end, however, Washington scrapped the idea, deeming Peru's coastline not strategically vital. Located just about 50 miles from Lima, the Chancay port is receiving a $3.6 billion investment from China to transform a quiet fishing village into South America's next major trade hub. With an annual capacity of over 1.2 million containers, TEUs, roughly 70% of the volume handled by the Port of Long Beach in the U.S., and at a depth of nearly 60 feet, the port is capable of accommodating massive post-Panamax vessels. What's even more striking is the speed. The entire project is being built in just 5 years, a pace that even the U.S. would struggle to match. Meanwhile, the Panama Canal, long a symbol of American influence, is suffering from severe bottlenecks caused by drought, low water levels, and limited throughput. Ships are waiting for weeks, racking up hundreds of thousands of dollars just to sit in line. In contrast, Chancay is quietly emerging as a viable alternative. This means goods from Brazil, Bolivia, and Colombia could head directly to Asia, without relying on Panama and without passing through any U.S. ports. What the U.S. once dismissed as unfeasible, China is now making a reality. What Washington overlooked, Beijing is capitalizing on. And this time, they're not just building a port, they're redrawing the global trade map. Dubbed the Dubai of South America, the Chancay Deep Water Port project is the first in the region capable of receiving massive cargo ships directly from Asia, with no need to stop for transshipment in the U.S. or Panama. With a total investment of $3.6 billion, the port is a joint venture between Peru and China's state-owned shipping giant COSCO, which holds a 60% stake. Once completed, Chancay will be able to handle around 1 million standard TEUs per year. It will feature a logistics zone covering nearly 2.5 million square feet, about 230,000 square meters, and a breakwater over 2,500 feet long, around 762 meters, putting it in the same league as major global ports like Singapore or Los Angeles. This is the first port in South America capable of receiving direct shipments from Asia, opening a new logistics corridor that could cut transport time by 30 to 40% and reduce shipping costs by 25 to 30% between the two continents. That not only eases pressure on traditional transshipment routes, but also shifts the balance in the global transport network, a system where South America has long been left behind. Chancay marks a major turning point. From being on the sidelines of the global supply chain, Peru is now emerging as a central link in the transpacific logistics network. If you place Chancay on the global logistics map, its location is nearly ideal. It's a truly strategic link in the Belt and Road Initiative, BRI, China's most ambitious 21st century project aimed at reshaping and dominating global trade routes. Situated on the western Pacific coast of South America, less than 50 miles from Peru's capital Lima, the port faces directly toward key shipping lanes that connect it with Asia's megaports: Shanghai, China, Busan, South Korea, and Singapore, the three largest logistics hubs in the world. This creates a new maritime corridor that bypasses both the Panama Canal and U.S. ports, cutting transit time from Asia to South America by up to 12 days compared to traditional routes. But Chancay's strength isn't just in its maritime location. It's also seamlessly connected to domestic infrastructure. A trans-Andean highway links the port to major inland markets, reaching deep into the economic centers of Brazil, Bolivia, Paraguay, and Argentina. In addition, Jorge Chávez International Airport, located just an hour's drive from the port, completes a strategic triangle of seaport, capital city, and international air gateway. In essence, Chancay is more than just a deep water port. It's an economic outpost, a kind of cargo aircraft carrier for China, designed to manage regional trade flows and extend its influence deep into the United States' geopolitical backyard, South America. Choosing the right location is one thing. Turning it into a symbol of technological power is another. Beneath the layers of concrete and the steel lies a fully autonomous operational ecosystem, a leap far beyond anything else in South America. Along the port's 2,500-foot stretch, all loading, sorting, and container transport operations are managed entirely by unmanned automated crane systems. Most notably, AGVs, autonomous guided vehicles, handle cargo movement across the 2.5 million square foot logistics area, roughly 40 times the size of an NFL football field, delivering a massive boost in efficiency. Port operations are up to 4 times faster than traditional models. Labor costs have been slashed by as much as 60%, and container turnaround time has dropped from 3 hours to under 1. This is a digital nerve center, where every container is tracked like the heartbeat of a logistics superpower. The real difference isn't just in the technology, it's in the mindset about the future. Amid the global media spotlight on China's growing presence in the Chancay Megaport project, one key truth is often overlooked. The biggest beneficiary isn't China, it's Peru. Once a South American country largely known for exporting raw agricultural products and minerals, Peru is now on the verge of becoming a major global trade hub, all thanks to a mega machine called Chancay. According to Peru's Ministry of Transport and Communications, during the construction phase alone, 2021 to 2024, the project created 9,760 direct jobs and more than 32,000 indirect jobs, mostly in sectors like construction, transportation, material supply, technical manufacturing, and catering and lodging services for the workforce. In 2024 alone, the Chancay region recorded a job growth rate of 12.4%, 3 times the national average. The average income in the area rose by over 22% compared to the previous year, a jump not seen in the last 15 years. Once operational, Chancay is projected to handle 1.2 million TEUs annually, nearly 70% of Peru's current total container volume. Annual revenue from port fees, logistics services, and transportation could reach $1.8 billion, contributing between 0.8% and 1% to the country's GDP. What's striking is that none of this came from a trade deal, nor from foreign aid. It came from a port in China's strategic presence. For the people of Peru, Chancay isn't just a seaport, it's a new lifeline, a rare opportunity to step into the global value chain. As Peru throws open the door to development, a very different kind of battle is quietly unfolding behind the scenes. While policymakers in Washington remain focused on macroeconomic indicators, federal tax rates, interest policies, and antitrust laws, on the other side of the globe, China has been orchestrating a dramatic shift, not with words but with action. More than 3,000 infrastructure projects worth over $1 trillion spanning 150-plus countries. In less than a decade, Beijing has invested over $1 trillion into projects under the Belt and Road Initiative, BRI, with Chancay standing out as one of its most strategic efforts in the Americas. While the U.S. has pulled back from numerous investment commitments in South America, China has gone in the opposite direction, ramping up investments in ports, railways, energy, and telecommunications. One of the clearest examples is the Chancay Port project in Peru. With over $3.6 billion in total investment, 60% of which is owned by China's COSCO Shipping, this is more than just a logistics hub. It has been designed as a maritime gateway directly linking Asia to South America, cutting shipping time from China to the continent's west coast from 35 days to under 23. Once fully operational in 2024, the port is expected to handle between 1 and 1.5 million TEUs per year, positioning Peru as a major regional transshipment hub. And Chancay isn't an isolated case. From the Belgrano freight railway in Argentina, to oil ventures in Venezuela, to Huawei's 5G telecom infrastructure in Brazil, Chile, and Mexico, China is quietly pinning nodes across Latin America's infrastructure map. According to data from the Inter-American Dialogue, the number of Chinese companies operating in the region has surged by more than 300% in just a decade, with over 500 firms now active in key sectors such as energy, mining, construction, and technology. Once considered a development dead zone in Peru, the coastal town of Chancay is now emerging as a strategic focal point for the entire South American continent. A place that had no metro system, no international hotels, and relied almost entirely on fishing is now undergoing the most dramatic economic and social transformation in Peru's modern history, all sparked by a $3.6 billion deep-sea port project funded by China. Just a few years ago, Chancay was a small coastal town of fewer than 60,000 residents, with an average monthly income of just $320 and an unemployment rate higher than the national average. But with a massive influx of infrastructure investments surrounding the port, the town is being reshaped into a strategic satellite city. Roads, hospitals, and schools are being redeveloped, transforming what was once a blind spot on the economic map into a booming growth zone. According to projections from Peru's Ministry of Economy, the Chancay Megaport will boost national GDP by an additional 0.6% annually starting in 2026, when Phase 1 is set to go live. Over 70 logistics, transportation, and international trade companies have already signed memoranda of understanding to invest in the port area and its surroundings. No infrastructure project in Latin America over the past 30 years has had such wide-reaching social impact. Global institutions like the World Bank and the Inter-American Development Bank have listed the Chancay Port among continent-level strategic infrastructure projects, but the project's impact extends far beyond Peru. Chancay is expected to become a Pacific gateway for goods from Brazil, Bolivia, and Colombia, made possible by a transnational railway currently under review. If greenlit, goods from Sao Paulo could reach the Pacific coast in just 72 hours, 4 to 5 times faster than the current Atlantic route. A once-forgotten fishing village is now being transformed into a Las Vegas of logistics. A true Chinese-style infrastructure miracle. Ultra-fast, ultra-large, and ultra-ambitious. The Chancay Megaport isn't just a commercial project. It's a strategic link in a much larger, more ambitious network. When the battleground is no longer about weapons, but about shipping lanes and trade hubs, every move has the potential to shift the balance of global power. And trust me, this is just the beginning. Top 10 Discoveries Official will be back with even bigger, bolder, and more jaw-dropping revelations. So hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. You won't want to miss a single twist in our journey to uncover the world's greatest mysteries.